What's up, everyone? I'm gonna go sit over here because it's kind of hot to be in the sun right now. I wanted to talk a little bit about long distance relationships. I'm in a long distance relationship. It's hard, to say the least. It's not recommended. I don't think anybody really gets into a long distance relationship by choice. A lot of the times you'll probably meet a girl while you're like on a vacation, and you'll probably have like a summer fling, you know, those things that you see in the movies and stuff. They're real, they happen. Sometimes you just fall for each other so hard, and you'd rather be long distance than have her be seeing other guys or you be seeing other girls. So I chose long distance, but it's a little bit more complicated than that because I'm from a small town in Mexico. It's like a chain of towns, like 4 towns. I'm from one of the towns. She's from the same town. Buenaventura, Chihuahua is the place, and her town is like 10 minutes away from mine, really close. We met there like 7 years ago, and we were both living there at the time, and we never got together those times. We always like had a thing for each other and stuff, but it wasn't till now, a long ways down the road, that what's that? Oh, some people are walking by. Now I feel all self-conscious about myself. Well, anyways, it wasn't until way later down the road that we ended up seeing each other down there again in Mexico, and we hung out and we really hit it off. She was gonna stay in Mexico and go to school there, and which is fine. You know, I live in Phoenix, and it's like 6 hours away from my hometown in Mexico. It's not that wasn't really a big deal, honestly, because she was in school, going to college in Chihuahua City. I have my YouTube thing going on, so we're both pretty busy anyways. So it worked out for a while. I go back to my hometown all the time. Man, it's hot. I go back to my hometown all the time, and I would see her like almost twice a month. I mean, sometimes I'd stay for a week. I'm like hearing things or something. Whatever. Sometimes I'd stay for like a week, sometimes for just a couple of days, but we definitely saw each other enough. It wasn't until her mom lives in North Carolina along with her twin sister. She's a twin, identical twins, and her other sister and her husband, a lot of her family lives in North Carolina, and she started going to college there. And then she transferred to Mexico because she just wanted to reconnect with her roots, get out of the United States. We have this love for our hometown in Mexico, and it's hard to stay away from too long from down there, whatever. And so she transferred to Mexico and didn't find out till after like 2 semesters that they weren't going to accept her credits from the United States, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know how they can be that unorganized at the college down there to tell her after 2 semesters of going to school there. So what that turned into was, if she stayed in Chihuahua going to school there, then she wouldn't graduate for like 5 years or something crazy like that. And no, she's already been going to college for like over 2 years. It's like she'd have to restart from scratch again. So what she ended up doing now is going back to North Carolina, and now she will finish in like 1.5 to 2 years max, which kind of sucks for me now. Well, I mean, and her too, because now she's on the East Coast and I'm practically on the West Coast, coast to coast almost. It's ridiculous. And now we're starting to understand what real long distance is. My birthday was last week on the 13th. I had fun. She came for the weekend. Her birthday's on the 25th of this month, so it was kind of like a celebration of both our birthdays. So she kind of came in the middle of both of them. And yeah, she only came for the weekend, and we had a good time. But I don't know, like, she was here. I didn't even want to vlog. I didn't want to do anything but just be with her, just hug her, you know, take her out to dinner, go on dates. And just, I wanted all my attention on her because we're so long distant now that it's getting hard, you know what I mean? So I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody get into long distance relationships. They're so much harder than people actually think they're gonna be. I feel like most people go into them thinking that they're gonna work out. The only positive thing I have in this long distance relationship is that we're both from the same town, and the way we grow up, we ideally want to end up with somebody from our town, because if you didn't grow up there, it's going to be really hard for you to like it. And we love that place, and eventually I want to end up there. I want to build a house there. I'll probably like to raise my family there, although my business is probably going to be in the United States, but I don't have a problem going back and forth. I just want my home base to be in Mexico. So it really helps that she's from my hometown with the whole long distance thing. It never gets easier. Every single time she comes, everything's great, and then she leaves, and you think you're going to get used to it, but not really. It's always the same. You're always sad. You're always trying not to cry. Maybe I'm too emotional or something, but it's always hard saying goodbye. And shit, I've had to do it like 10 times, 20 times now, and it doesn't ever get easier. And I've been with her for like 7 months now, and the long distance in the beginning was easier, because we didn't care about each other as much as we do now. And now we care about each other so much. We don't want to be with anybody else, yet we don't have any choice but to be long distance. Like, I can't, I mean, I could, it wouldn't be easy, but like, I can't move to North Carolina. And she doesn't want to live there, but since a lot of her family's there right now, it's easier for her to be there. She's staying with her mom right now. She's about to get her own place, and she's gonna finish school there. And who knows, if we're still together, who knows what we will do after that. But I'll be getting my own place here in Arizona most likely in the next 6 to 7 months. So it'll be a lot easier seeing each other, not having roommates and stuff. But like, I'm not too into the idea of moving in with your girlfriend before marriage. I guess I'm just kind of old school. It's just where I come from. That's what they teach, and it's kind of looked down upon. So I don't think I'd want to do that unless we were going to get married or something like that, which we're not really even considering right now. I mean, we've only been dating for 7 months. I mean, I'm only 23. She's about to turn 22. But we both don't want to leave each other, and at the same time we don't want to be long distance anymore. So things are starting to get really complicated. The further you go into long distance relationships, you know, the more you start to care about each other, the more pointless arguments you get in, because like, you can't really make your significant other feel good through the phone, you know, through technology and texting. It's just, there's no emotion. You don't really feel it as much. Not even FaceTime is really, it's helpful, but it's not like that helpful. But it definitely feels nice to see her, you know, talking, even on a screen. It's better than on the phone. But you know, I feel like the longer you stay together, like I said a minute ago, the more pointless arguments you have, the more you're fighting about nothing. Because I feel like it's because you're just so, what's the word? You're just angry, I guess. You're antsy. You want to be able to see each other so badly, and you express those emotions with anger. Although you're expressing it that way because of how much you care about each other, it's hard not to fight. Maybe that's just my relationship. Like me and her, we have a great relationship. When we're together, we never fight. We don't have arguments. We get along so well. We get along like best friends. That's why we fell for each other so hard when she was still in Mexico and I was going down all the time. And we're to the point where we don't want to break up, but we don't want to be long distance. I don't really know what to do about it. So I guess I'm kind of venting to you guys. Just I don't know, I think I just needed to talk about it. It's starting to bother me. I just got off the phone with her like 15 minutes ago, or I guess like 20 minutes ago, or something like that, and we actually didn't argue this phone call. We argued this morning, and I guess this phone call was kind of like calming us down, and everything's fine again, but I already know tomorrow that we're going to miss each other again, and we're going to wish that we can be together, but we can't, and it's going to turn into a pointless argument where you're fighting really over nothing. We're not really fighting. We're not like yelling at each other and being rude and stuff, but it's more of like just calm arguing. You're just arguing. You're venting. You're constantly venting, and you're not really talking about the positive things anymore. I don't know. I didn't really know what I was going to say going into this. I felt like I just wanted to talk about it and vent to you guys. I would definitely recommend not doing it unless you have to. I don't even know when I'm going to see her again. I think the next time I'm going to go to North Carolina, probably 3 weeks to a month max, hopefully. But at the same time, all the traveling gets expensive, especially when you're traveling across the country. And oh man, it's hard. If you ever have a summer fling, try not to fall in love with the girl. I mean, unless sometimes you can't really help it, you can't really resist, but for the most part, just enjoy the experience, I would say. And but don't run away from love. I mean, sometimes there's really nothing you can do about it. I don't know. I think I'm talking too much now, and I'm starting to repeat myself too much. So, what do you guys think, like, about long distance relationships? What do you think about my scenario, my case? What are your thoughts on that? What's your advice? So yeah, let me know in the comments. And then thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.